So, hello and welcome to Night Errant. This is a show with lots of swearing, lots of alcohol, and as a big surprise, no tobacco smoking.
No smoking.
No smoking. I'm not allowed to smoke here because we have moved indoors, not in the shed or the studio, as you might.
Shitty shit.
Because that is it's snowing outside,
and
there is no insulation in the shed.
No.
At all.
None.
It's.
And I'm tired of getting sick all the time.
Yeah.
So,
So no more smoking on Night Errant for a while.
yeah, a couple of months.
Unless we find a better place to record these where we can smoke. So.
Now we know what you wish for.
Yes. I wish for a bar with no customers. A small bar where you're allowed to smoke.
I might have a suggestion.
So next Night Errant there will be.
Oh well, today's topic.
Yeah. As you might have guessed, we will be talking about the specialist games branch.
And New Games Workshop.
We'll be talking a bit about the New Games Workshop and a lot about the new specialist games workshop.
And the old specialist games and the old games workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we like New Games Workshop.
We do. They have put on a very friendly face, and we're not just talking about Duncan here because that is a friendly face, and also there's the other.
I like the new guy.
Yeah, the other Duncan. He's also brilliant.
Well, it's not the other Duncan. It is not Duncan.
Yeah, and he has a name, and I have no idea what it is right now.
Me neither.
But he is not Duncan, and we like not Duncan. We really like not Duncan. He does have dead eyes, though.
I like that.
You do
Is
like
that
that?
Weird? I like him. Yes. But yeah, we like New Games Workshop.
Yeah.
We like how they listen to the community, how they actually
and respond to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. There, it's almost like they learn from the old specialist games branch.
Yeah, and that about the topic.
Yeah.
So we like the old specialist games.
Yeah, they were.
Division 2.
Yeah, like.
In the good old days.
Like old times Mordheim or old times Necromunda. We have the old times Gorgamorka presented here. We have old times specialist games Blood Bowl. Not Bowl when...
Not new Blood Bowl.
Old Blood Bowl when was still run by Games Workshop.
Blah,
blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. That thing. We have been warming up to this episode for a while. Anyways.
We had to get all this stuff down.
Yeah, that took a few drinks and finding it all.
Yeah.
As you might have noticed, a lot of it is still in the original plastic wrapping.
Also, I'm not quite sure if you can see this, but some of it has been on the top of the shelf for a while.
Yeah, we will zoom in on that heart we just drew later on. But specialist games used to be
Listening
in
to
the old times. In the old times, when Games Workshops was made up of strictly asshole corporate douchebags that only wanted all your money and buy more miniatures, and even if you don't want more miniatures, will take all your money anyways.
It sounds awful, but it's
but
true.
Then there was a specialist games branch, and the specialist game branch were, well, when Games Workshop went like all-time Batman villain, the specialist games branch went like, let's make a living rule book so that the community can continue this game that has that we cannot.
Because we will not get the funds to actually support it, but we know that this is important to you.
So let's just slightly support. Just make sure that the community keeps things rolling and makes things good and we loved them for it because we loved the specialist games. We loved Blood Bowl. We loved Mordheim. For me,
and we
was
felt loved.
Mordheim for me was a brilliant game. It
was a shitty game.
Oh yeah, it was. But the theme of it was brilliant. All the ideas of it was brilliant. The way to play miniature games, it gave me an excuse to convert miniatures out of the wazoo, especially after I start playing. After I start playing, what's it called? I can't remember the name of the game right now.
Is it here?
Possessed. The Possessed.
In Warland. Yes.
Yeah. I could do things with miniatures. I could do things with green stuff. I could buy. I could buy for about what $100 worth of miniature, chop them all up, and make one possessed fighter.
I did that too.
And I
actually, Mordheim made me, as a new gamer, convert green stuff, all that shit.
Yes.
And that was awesome. I loved Mordheim. I like to level up.
Yeah. And actually, I must admit, with all of my regrets for anything Games Workshop, I must admit, all of the non-support for the Possessed Warband in Mordheim.
I think Errant has the same feeling.
Made me love that
Bitonia.
because it made me have to make my own miniatures because the Possessed miniatures sucked. And they had a few mutations, and those mutations were not the ones I wanted. So I had to make my own miniatures, and I loved that. I actually loved that. I put hours and hours into building my own miniatures, and I had to do it because I was doing it for a game that I knew from the start, more or less,
with that
was not going to be supported.
No.
I would not be going to be getting my, first of all, plastic, because that didn't exist. Plastic didn't really exist in those days, so I wouldn't be getting my white metal miniatures with all the options, because the options were endless.
Yeah.
So I had to make my own.
For a company named Warhammer, there were not a lot of Warhammers in this game. And we experimented with
the
with
rule
green
set
stuff and grey stuff and
and the rule set that basically stated that anything with a Warhammer or mace was awesome. If you could if the rules allowed you to equip a Warhammer or mace, that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
That or swords.
Whew. Okay.
And swords are actually pretty far between as well in those minis.
But back to topic.
Yeah.
How did it make us feel when the specialist game department was resurrected?
Yes. We were
God.
overjoyed.
We were overjoyed, yeah.
Special Games has been like, that was the Warhammer Fantasy Battles, good games. Warhammer 40k, good games.
No,
we had fun. We had fun.
Yeah.
But specialist games were where we became nerdy. That was where we got involved. That was where we put our love into each and every miniature. That was.
It's true.
I mean, that was where we had our random guy from the left, armed with a mace and a dagger, and we poured all our love into this guy because he single-handedly took out a fucking vampire. Or in Necromunda,
it was epic. That was stories.
Epic.
It was heroes, real heroes with stories and epic stories, epic tales of greatness.
We definitely
we loved that.
We loved our miniatures for those games.
So specialist games were announced. They were coming back, and it was a great day.
They never entirely went away. They just didn't do anything for quite a while. And without knowing anything about it, I have a feeling that all the staff got replaced in that period of time.
Yeah.
Because then New Games Workshop happened, and we love New Games Workshop. It was like
Games Workshop.
It was like all those lovable guys from the Specialist branch actually got put into the major branch of New Games Workshop.
Yeah.
You had like
for a while there, we had a feeling that they had listened to the specialist games department, and that New Games Workshop had learned from that experience.
Yeah.
But no.
No, not exactly, but no, because I think they
have. But no.
Because New Games Workshop has actually imported all the love of the games from the old Specialist branch. The people that loved the games they were actually working with. The people putting out games that they wanted to play.
Yeah.
And all that had been incorporated into the New Games Workshop.
But what happened with the Specialist?
The Specialist branch, while we were in the transition period, they put out games like Lost Patrol.
Yeah.
Right here.
The dust-covered one.
The dust-covered one.
We haven't played it yet.
They put out a few games that were, let's face it, mainly another way to get a bunch of miniatures. If you needed those miniatures anyway.
Yeah, that's why we have Renegade down here.
Yeah.
Because Renegade, that is 2 knights for the price of less than 1.
Yeah.
Something like that. So we have a knight army.
So you could get,
we haven't played it.
Basically the miniatures, they were cheap miniatures that came with a subpar board game. Because let's face it, Games Workshop, they are a miniatures game company.
Yeah.
They are not a board game company.
No.
Other companies out there
make better
board games
yeah.
way better
yeah.
than Games Workshop.
Then they came out with Shadow War Armageddon.
Shadow War
Armageddon is a cheap way to get a lot of terrain, or it was, because it was limited edition.
Yeah, the basic box was.
Yeah. And besides
that. By the way, Irish coffee.
Yeah. Well, this was.
Even though we're indoor in the heat, Irish coffees, because we like them.
Yeah. Well, but apart from that, Shadow War Armageddon was actually a great game.
It was a really good game.
It is, I guess.
It still is.
But it is no longer really supported.
Well, according to Games Workshop, there will be more Shadow War Armageddon down the line, but we don't believe them at all.
No, it'll probably be I don't know.
Yeah, and that one was, which is kind of weird, because Shadow War Armageddon should be the Games Workshop's wet dream. And I'm talking here in a strictly sexual...
strictly sexual?
Because
I was really hoping for none there.
Because, no, this is... Shadow War Armageddon is... basically, the whole concept of it is sell more minis, and sell minis to people who are not ready perhaps to invest in an entire 40k army, but get them piecemeal invested into the hobby.
Yes.
Because let's face it, a rulebook in and of itself, it costs a bit to develop it. That's slightly expensive. Develop the rules. A lot of people need to do a lot of work, and they need paychecks. But in the whole physical producing things, it's very cheap. So you get people to buy this rulebook, and then Shadow War Armageddon actually made people buy basic miniatures for an army. And then once they have those and have painted them, and they've gotten past the whole daunting experience of actually painting miniatures, and they figured out, okay, it took me quite a while to paint this what's it called in Shadow War? It's not Warband. It's called.
Yeah, I think it's a Warband.
Kill team.
Kill team. Yeah, that's right.
You just painted
we have
a kill team.
Warbands, kill teams, and gangs. Yes.
Yeah. You just painted a kill team, and that took quite a while. But now you got in the hang of it, and you know, after painting it, how you could do it way faster the second time around. So maybe starting a 40k army isn't that daunting.
Also,
so that would be, yes, they might be producing and selling the actual Shadow War Armageddon.
But it was a great gateway
and also,
game.
And here comes the big kicker. Shadow War Armageddon, if they had any doubt before, after Shadow War, they should know in games workshops that selling terrain pieces, and the terrain pieces they are able to produce in Games Workshop, because they do have basically the best designers around.
Yeah.
They can sell those and people would buy them.
Yeah, for the first time they actually put something out that pushed terrain.
Yeah.
People bought the starter set for the terrain alone, and then they figured out they needed more, and
then they
bought the whole
just the terrain boxes,
yeah,
which were way more expensive.
Yeah,
and people still bought them.
I think we are a good example of that, because we have, well, it all.
Yes,
really.
And we have it all, but still,
Sector Mechanicus.
There are people out there who bought, who were not a YouTube channel, who were not a group of gamers, who were actually single individuals who bought it all 3 times over.
Yeah, to get the.
We already had a shitload of terrain lying around. We had that.
Yeah, we did, but it was Gothic ruins and all, so we wanted something.
But it was still more or less like, for most gamers, our terrain was perfect for Shadow War.
It was.
And still,
we wanted more. We wanted better terrain. We wanted.
We have just none of us have any kind of money whatsoever, and all of that, no money whatsoever, we still spend on bits of plastic from Great Britain, produced in India, I think. But like, because it was awesome terrain.
It was so good.
And everybody loves that. And hey,
does.
Games Workshop still has it on the website. Yeah. They still
Go buy
it,
some.
and people are still buying it by the shitload. Now we have new specialist games.
So let's talk about a bit about that.
Yes.
Let's start out with this game.
Yes, Shadespire.
And we do play Shadespire.
A lot.
And it's not a war game.
It's not a war game. It is a specialist game. It is definitely a board game. Also, it has an element of like a
deck
huge
building.
element of deck building and collectible card game element to it. But it does not have, which is very unlike Games Workshop, is a miniature war game element, which it really doesn't have.
No terrain and no gateway to the.
Yes, there are a couple of miniatures for your gang,
chess pieces, really.
Yeah, they're chess pieces. They might as well have been cardboard tokens you pushed around.
But they looked.
They are very, very, very well looking, like really good looking cardboard tokens you're pushing around.
Yeah, but
that's what they
tokens, are. Really.
That's what they are. Yeah. They are playing pieces.
So the thing about Shadespire is, and we knew this beforehand, that it would be, of course, the miniatures, but that was a very small part of the game, and the boards and the cards would be, well, collectibles. And
there would be more.
It was a never-ending story. There would be new boards and new cards, and you had to get it all
in every expansion, and every single gang that came out would have a couple of miniatures. They did not matter unless you wanted to play that particular gang.
So you are a sepulchral guard player.
Yes.
And that is your
I am,
warband of choice.
I am, and I will be until at some point the whole what's the name of them? The Ghoul.
Yeah.
Ghoul King's Court or something like that. It's called.
Yes, I have no idea what it's called.
Flesh Eater's Court. That's the name.
Flesh Eaters. Yes.
That's what I want to play.
Yeah, but you like death. You do not want to play Bloodbound or Stormcast Eternals or blah blah blah.
But I must say, my second choice so far would be Stormcast.
But you still need all the new expansions.
Yes,
because
I need to buy. I need the and so far I actually have bought nothing myself. Because I'm broke.
We are too.
You are too, but you are slightly less broke than I am.
That is true. We actually do have an income.
Yeah.
You do.
At the moment. But when I do get into money, very shortly, any day now. I will buy everything. I need to buy everything. I knew I would need to buy everything before I even started the dream of Shadespire. Yeah. I knew that I would. You
knew that this would be that kind of game.
That was a collectible card game, and I also knew
it's part of the deal, really.
Unlike Magic, I didn't need to buy booster packs where I would hope to get the cards I needed. I just knew I need to buy this pack, this pack, this pack, and this pack, and also this pack. And then the basic game and the additional packs that are going to come out in the future. I
still remember my first Shiva Dragon and a Fallen Angel. It was a great morning.
Oh, Jesus.
A whole summer. We bought a whole package and then we opened one booster each morning. Me and my mother. Let's not go there.
Yeah. Especially because I'm going to beat you.
Oh God. Okay.
Anyway, but I knew that.
Yeah.
Even before Shadespire came out,
it was part of the deal.
It was a collectible card game.
Yeah.
But I also knew that unlike like hardcore collectible card games, it wouldn't be about collecting all the rares. And you just threw just about everything onto the floor.
I did.
Yes. There went our whole idea for...
Yeah. I will just leave this here and then I will go...
No, you won't. You just stay in the couch. Because the thing... We just talked about Shadespire now and how we knew what we were getting into and we did it anyways.
But I need to do something about this.
No, you don't. Next thing is Necromunda.
Yeah.
The new big thing. No, you don't have to care about that.
Actually, I do. Can you please fetch me that?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay, that was liquid in some of that.
Yeah. So you talk to the camera, and I just go wipe up some.
You go do stuff. Just
because we have
yeah.
Codex dying over here.
Anyways, Necromunda. Necromunda is all of us in our circle knew about Necromunda. Most of us have played it in the past, the old Cromunda, and now came out the Neo Cromunda, and we're looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah.
Gang warfare, that's right up our alley. This is perfect for us. We love actually delving into the narrative of each and every mini on the table. We love giving them names. We love watching the stories unfold, how they rise to glory or disappear into the hopeless pits of despair. This is the game we want. And what they did not tell us before they put out the game was that this would also be a collectible card game.
Yeah, and a board game.
And
well, we knew that.
We knew the board game part. We knew it would be there would be 2 game modes. There would be the 2D mode and the 3D mode, and
the board game and the skirmish game.
Yeah, and actually,
and it is.
We were at the beginning, when the very first teasers came out. We were a bit afeared that the Som Mortalis boards would have there's squares on those that you just move squares with your minis.
Like, well, here.
And we quickly found out that was not the case. It would still be a miniature board game, only on 2D-ish, not really 2D, but 2D-ish terrain,
and it wouldn't be tiles. You still have to measure, not pre-measure.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. We will get into that later in this episode, the whole pre-measure thing. But
there's a rant there.
That's a rant. Oh no, there's more than one. But we checked that out, and very quickly Games Workshop relieved our worries. That would not be an issue. This was not going to be a counting the squares board game. No. This would actually be a miniature war game.
But we were not prepared for the cards.
But we were not prepared for. One thing was the cards is just the. We were not prepared for the gang war thing. Gang War 1 we were prepared for. The campaign game. The campaign rules would be in the
we knew that.
In the extra book that was called. That would be Gang War.
That Gang War 1.
Yes, the thing is Gang War 1. The thing is, as I can tell by now, Gang War 2 will bring one extra gang rules. They have brought on the webpage, there are the legacy gangs. The legacy gangs are basically, as in old Necromunda, they are all the same.
Yeah, their flavor has been turned into...
Which was brilliant in old Necromunda, that all the gangs were the same when they started out, and then they would develop in different styles. Whereas the new Necromunda is the gangs that have rules start off completely different stages, and then they develop also in completely different stages. Whereas those who don't have rules rules yet, they start off all the same, and also not just all the same, all in the same really sucky place compared to the ones who have rules.
They start bland and useless, and they end up bland and useless
until they get rules.
Yeah.
And waiting for the rules can take a while.
Yeah, because for the first quarter of 2018 they have announced one robot?
Yeah.
Oh, gang. Sorry,
one gang.
And so while we are waiting for a game,
and we're looking at because hey, this is new specialist games, so let's look at what new specialist games have been doing. Blood Bowl.
Oh God.
Blood Bowl has been out for what now? 1-2 years? New Blood Bowl.
Not done yet.
And they have put out 3-4 teams.
Yeah, and then they're a Forge World, or is Forge World the ones that are putting out teams?
The thing was, they start off, it was supposed to be Forge World, and then everything got delayed because they want to do it in plastic instead, and then it got delayed. But that seems now, when they start off with that seemed like a really valid reason that we did not expect this amount of success, so we have to redo our whole production plan, so everything is gonna be delayed a while because but then you're gonna get in good quality. And while this is Games Workshop, so the quality is always brilliant, and that is a thing with Games Workshop. And that is, I must say, by now, the only thing that keeps the Games Workshop boat floating in my head is the quality is always brilliant of the minis.
Of the minis. They tend to make shitty games.
They do tend to make no, they don't tend to make shitty games. They tend to make not even subpar, because within the whole wargaming industry there are some really crappy games out there.
Yeah, okay.
They tend to make
games?
Imbalanced and not suboptimal games. Let me say that.
Okay. Yeah.
But what they have two things going for them in Games Workshop. They have the flavor, the mood of the games, the narrative mood of the games in Games Workshop is way better than anybody. And then they have the Games Workshop miniatures that I can use in any wargame that I want to use them in. I must admit.
Lovely quality, and for
the
most
miniatures,
lovely details.
Yes, lovely, especially, and the plastic, especially for Games Workshop. And I must say, hey, Games Workshop, if you're seeing this episode, you're probably not. Okay, Duncan.
Yeah.
Duncan.
We will track you.
I will not promise you a hand job, because that would be inappropriate. But something along those lines. Because as long as you forget about resin, white metal and any other, do your plastic stuff, because Games Workshop plastic is awesome.
Yeah,
and works. Also make sure that every single box you put out there of plastic miniatures, I can magnetize them. You don't have to pre-drill the holes.
No.
I can do it. Hey, I'd love it if you did it, but hey,
if you did it well.
I can drill the holes myself. So that's okay.
Okay.
But the whole design of the miniatures let me swap the arms around easily, especially with magnets, so I can actually change the weapon options, because we like WYSIWYG. We like what you see is what you get, which means we need to be able to change what you see is what you get.
Yeah. We want them to be convertible. We want them to be...
Yes. Yeah. And also conversions.
Oh.
We love doing them.
Oh, but we're getting off track here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to Necromunda and the cards.
Yeah. Oh, with the cards. Oh,
the thing is, this is not the game.
No.
That's pretty much it. This is an expensive box, and yes, we haven't opened this version just yet.
I opened mine.
But we do have two. So this is still unopened, but yeah, that is not the game. This is the first part of the game. Then there are Gang Wars, which is just one book for now, but it will be more. And then you have to have every gang released, because with the gangs there will be cards usable for all factions.
But they're not in the gang box.
They're not in the gang box.
No, the cards...
Actually, I thought that.
No, the cards are sold separately.
Oh, but that's actually better than if they were in the box, right?
Yes and no. Depending on...
That's what
the way it is now.
The minis there.
Yeah, the way it is now. You buy the cards, and then you get the gang-specific cards for that. And a bunch of neutral cards.
And you want all the neutral cards, of course.
And everybody wants all the neutral cards, because you need those.
But the difference between Shadespire and Necromunda is, with Necromunda you tend to, well, at least in the good old days, you tend to stick with one warband, one gang.
Yeah.
You are loyal. With Shadespire it's just like, oh well, you play different decks and they have different chess pieces. But with Necromunda, why would I want Goliath I don't like Goliath.
You're going to play Esther. You would never ever play Goliath because that would be disloyal.
Yeah, and no, I will not be.
And also
the enemy. Why would I do that? I don't want to touch them with tweezers.
Yeah.
and
you might touch them with shock whip, but
yeah.
Or power torch.
but apparently I need to buy all gangs.
Yeah.
And it just feels wrong. Why would I want that? It haven't you learned anything?
And also
New Games Workshop.
And remember each gang war supplement is gonna be not just that's gonna be the rules for one gang, and also
an updated trading post.
Updated trading post, updated.
So you need it.
So you need it for whatever you play.
Or you can play, if you just have friends who play the new warbands, then you can perhaps share.
Let me say it this way: 40k, or even old Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I'm not gonna say Age of Sigmar because I haven't actually gotten into that.
But
yet.
we are getting into the skirmish part.
I would buy the rule book. I would buy the codex or the army book that fit my army. Also, I might buy the army book or codex of one or two of my favorite enemies. My friends, the armies of my friends played a lot, and then I will need to play a lot again just to like get into that guy in my gaming group that I keep losing to.
I want to counter him.
Exactly, I want to counter him. I want to read his rule books. I want to read all about it because I need the rules so I can figure out what is his weak point that I can exploit, or what is his strong point that I need to counter. I need those. I would buy, but I wouldn't buy. Grey Knights. I wouldn't buy.
Because none of us play Grey Knights at this point.
I played my Skaven army. It would be
weird if your Skaven army were facing Grey Knights then.
Yeah. I played my Skaven army. I would buy the Empire army book because
they were common.
I would buy my High Elf army book because a couple of friends has played those. I would buy my dwarf army.
Elder, right?
I would buy my dwarf army book not because anybody. Well, one of my friends did buy that one, but no matter what I did, I wouldn't be able to beat that guy because
it was that guy.
Yeah, it was that guy. He was really good. He won big tournaments and stuff like that all the time. Okay. I wouldn't be able to beat that guy, but dwarves are
awesome.
They're awesome, and that was the other army that if one day I want to build another army, that would be dwarves. Also, no, that's
actually.
But then there was wood elves that a couple of my friends played. I would never buy that army book because I was winning.
But what about these new gangs? Aren't they all interesting? Don't you want to read about the flavor? But they are already described.
They are, exactly. That's one thing. They're already described, but and they should be.
Yeah.
Because I should not need to buy every single book for each and let's look at Gang War 1. Unless Gang War 2 has. I have no idea what Gang War 2 was going to be in it. But I have a feeling it's going to be the Orlok gang rules. Then it's going to be...
an updated version of the old one.
And then it's going to be it's going to be a bit of updated rules for doing the Zone Mortalis, except now they're calling it something different because it's different boards. But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But change the names a bit, and then they're going to do rules for the basic rules, not the complete rules, but the basic rules for using hired guns.
Right. That has been announced already.
Yeah, that has more or less been announced, and that's going to be, and they're going to put a few more things on trading posts, such as bolt guns. because they are obviously lacking.
Started on the guns.
And a few, maybe one or two like heavy weapons. But not the heavy stopper, because that's gonna suck forever.
Yeah.
Because we all love the heavy stopper. In every single other 40k skirmish game, the heavy stopper was awesome. So now it's gonna suck forever.
Yeah.
Or at least 10 years.
Yeah.
A few bits like that, and then in Game War 3, that's where they're gonna put in the Dramatis Personae or the...
And the next gang.
Which is basically the same as hired guns.
Yeah.
But just now they have names instead of types.
Yeah.
But basically the same rules. And
then you buy all this, because if you have, well, you're going to go all in, or at least
first of all,
that's how we usually do it.
That's one thing, and nothing is...
And in a year, when it's been all released, then next Christmas or the Christmas after that, there will be the hardback version containing all the rules. You know, the book you wanted in the first place.
Yes.
And we know it's gonna come.
Either that,
but I can't wait for that. And
that's one version. Is that then it's gonna come the hardback book with all the rules in it. That's
also, it's
that's one possibility.
You can hear snoring in the background.
Yeah. The other possibility instead of the hardback book is next edition.
That's also a possibility, but then I think the community will shoot them.
No, they didn't do that 20 years ago. So
yeah, but 20 years ago we liked them.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No.
The specialist games department.
Oh, specialist games we did.
But now we don't really like the specialist.
But like 20 years ago, 20 years ago we liked the specialist games department, but we hated the main branch.
And now the main, it's kind of reversed.
Yeah, and the main branch back then, that would be actually be the ones to shoot. That would be easy to march up to Nottingham and shoot them. And basically, 20 years ago was like, oh, I got my army book, and now we have a new edition.
Just to be clear, we don't want to shoot anyone. No.
I do.
No.
Not with real guns, but I do what.
We do.
I have a slingshot and a lot of cherries, and I want to shoot somebody.
But the difference between
now it's winter; those cherries are overripe a lot.
I do have some eggs, but the difference between Shadespire and Necromunda is that Shadespire was the game we expected. Necromunda wasn't.
Yeah.
And
This was a collectible card game, and we knew we bought into a collectible card game.
But this is a collectible
miniature game.
Miniature game where you have to also collect and paint a shitload of terrain.
Yes.
So it's not just an expensive box. It's a whole hobby. It's not a specialist game you can play on the side. If you're going into Necromunda, this will be your main hobby.
Let's face
it's going to be huge.
If I am going to play Necromunda a lot, which I am, and I am, because even though I hate the whole concept of how they're doing it, I am going to play Necromunda a lot. I will be playing, and this is actually funny, I'm going to play one of the really specialist gangs, because I am going to play, because that's what I like, I'm going to play the whole Gene Stealer cultist thing.
And we're back to the underdog.
Slow painting. If you haven't seen them, there's a lot of slow painting videos. Anyways, I'm going to play slow painting Gene Stealers.
Slow painted Gene Stealers.
And I'm going to play that in Necromunda. My first plan was to start off playing them as a Deluxe gang, because they're the stealthy gang, and play it like that until the Gene Stealer cult rules came along. But so far as I've seen on the updates and what's been released, the rumors,
the Gene Stealers will be around anytime soon, right?
No, I actually think the Gene Stealers will come along before the deluxe game.
Oh, right. I will play Escher.
Because so far as I can tell, the deluxe game will be the last or the second to last of the game. But I know for a fact that Genestealer Cult rules will be released in the during the spring of 2018 in White Dwarf.
Ooh, yeah. So
one of the actual like specialist gang, like the specialist gang for a specialist game, will be released before the basic gang.
Oh my god!
For the specialist game.
And they will probably be released as part of how they will release.
They will be released probably just after Gang War.
No, I'm not.
3, because Game War 3 is where they will introduce the psychic rules.
Oh right, but I was thinking.
Just guessing.
and it may have to do with a release for 40k, right? So so Genestealers will come out for both
that's kind of it's also been rumored that around spring 2018, Genestealer Cult Army book or what's it called, Codex for 40k will be out, which should be pretty easy for Games Workshop since they already did the Tyranid book.
Please.
One thing is please, and let me see, you already did Imperial Guard, and Imperial Guard's been out and Tyrannid's been out, so let's see, put those two together and you got Genestealer Cults.
But the thing I wanted them to do with Necromunda is another business model, really. I understand why they do it this way, because yes, then you get people to buy more boxes and more expansions and all that. But what I wanted them to do was more of a Munchkin-esque way. Munchkin. So you buy the core game and then you can buy expansions, and you can go with this type of card and this type of card, or you can go with, then you have the dungeon add-ons, and you can choose what expansions to play with. And I would have liked them to have a card add-on, so you could buy all the cards and then you could play Necromunda Underhive, or Necromunda Gang Wars with the card add-on to add flavor to your game. That would have been nice.
We forgot to discuss the whole card game part of Necromunda.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Necromunda has come with a card game add-on. We have looked at the cards theoretically. We haven't actually really tried out for real.
We've just received our terrain.
But
the terrain we wanted.
From looking at the rule books and looking at the cards that we've gotten so far, I have decided, and it's just a matter of time, these other guys around me will actually agree with me once they see the wisdom of my words, that we will probably be playing without the cards. Or maybe this will be one of those rare occasions where I'm completely wrong and somebody changes my mind. That happens very rarely. When I say very rarely, I mean not yet.
He's a quite stubborn person.
Only a lot.
And eccentric, really.
Only a lot.
but yeah, we'll try it out, and we'll see if it can work without the cards, because the card
means you have to buy,
and it turns Necromunda into another game. Not what we expected, not what we wanted, not what we... Well, we already do have our collectible card game. Yeah. We don't want another. That was not part of the deal.
And also, the thing is, with every card release from Necromunda, there will be game-specific cards and a bunch of neutral
but
cards.
That's exactly the same thing with Shakespeare.
Yes, it's the same thing. I have like...
but I wanted...
For me, for Necromunda to work, for me, as a business model as well, it should be enough that one person or your local shop or whatever, or your local, what do you call that, forening, community has everything. What you need as a player is
your warband,
your basic rules, your warband,
specific
rules, and then your the gang war book that has your warband specific rules.
Yeah.
In other words, you need your codex.
Yeah.
And then you need the cards for your specific gang, if you wanted the gangs, the cards to be a part of it.
Exactly.
But the way it's released right now, you would need to buy the cards for every single gang, and then you would have a bunch of cards that you can throw in the trash.
Yeah, and as of now, we don't know when the rest of Necromunda the game will be released.
Also,
it can be in a year from now or 2 years from now. When do your gang get released? Because you are raiding a gang that will be, well, released.
Also, let's
let's
face the fact. Let's face the fact that my gang, the gang that I want to play, will probably not receive gang-specific cards.
No.
We will be stuck with the neutral cards. Also, every single gang card has a bunch of neutral cards with them. We don't know how many for each one, but the rules does not state anything about the amount of cards you need in your deck. It just says you need your gang-specific cards, all of them, and all the neutral cards that you happen to own. And then in certain missions, you're drawing cards at random from your deck.
So you are actually content
you would be since the rules state that you should only you should use all the cards that you own.
Yeah.
You would actually be at an advantage if you were losing certain suboptimal cards from your deck.
It's a very weird...
I lost that one in the trash.
Yeah.
That would make me better at winning tournaments.
It's so weird, but yeah. Well, that's probably not what they meant.
That's not what they meant, but that's what they wrote. And also, since they only specified, because hey, we're trying to be friendly, Games Workshop, you should only play with the cards that you actually own.
You do not need all of them.
And remember, Games Workshop Games has been a competitive game company for years and years and years and years and years. That whole mentality, not very good at it, but they have been that. But they have been very good at. They have been very good at building the competitive mindset of their players.
Yes.
Which means you have competitive players who will tactically lose cards.
Or it will be if a...
That's the whole concept of it. That's like the whole idea of...
But let's face it, we think it's stupid. I want to buy a complete game, and this is not it.
Necromunda is a specialist game. Specialist games should be a game in a box.
Yeah, and there can be expansions. I want expansions, but not expansions being, you know, the rest of the
10%
game.
I need, 90% for somebody who's playing a different game than I am.
Yeah, and then it doesn't really add anything to the gaming experience if you're playing a warband that has already been released. It's just, you know, the rest of the game, or 10% more of the game, and you're still lagging the rest of it.
Let me just face the major counter argument that's gonna show up. Well, I don't know if it's going to show up because I kind of like the people that actually view and they tend to make intelligent comments. If this was a Facebook post in the community, then the comments would be, well, you can just in your gaming group choose not to buy this part of the game, and then you wouldn't lose very much, because that would be, as you said yourself, that would only be like 10% of the expansion, which is kind of nothing. except it's something.
Yeah.
And we want to play a complete game.
The thing is, we actually like the setting. We like the idea of the whole concept of Necromunda.
Oh, and we're completionists.
Oh yeah, that's
a lot.
And that's an expensive trade.
It is. I don't really count it as a trade. I count it more like
a flaw.
Yeah, and a big one. I mean, I should have like 19 strength just because of that flaw, but I don't.
Yeah, but I really like the idea of Necromunda, and I think they have made a big blunder with this release. There were so many other ways they could do this without disappointing. And I don't mind that it is not a beginner's game. You need a lot of terrain. You need a lot. Well, of course, you can play the board game version, and then you don't need a lot of terrain. But it's going to be a massive hobby in itself, and it's going to be expensive, and that's definitely not for beginners. But I hate that.
I like that.
It's just not finished.
I like that. The part that it's not for beginners
because we already have.
It is
beginners.
A specialist game.
Shadespire, no, not Shades. Well, Shadespire perhaps as well.
40k.
But yeah, 40k has turned into a great gateway game for the specialist games actually. But also Shadow War Armageddon.
Yes.
That was
Shadow War Armageddon was also kind of. You need some experience with gaming before playing that.
And of course, everything with multi-level terrain needs some painting skills.
Yeah, that's one. But like the whole just playing thing. Shadow War Armageddon had very complex rules compared to New Edition 40k.
Exactly, but it was an easier version of a 7th edition. It was more streamlined.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't?
No.
No?
It was a slightly more streamlined version of old Necromunda.
Yeah, okay. So compared to that, it felt easier.
But not much.
Lagging.
It was basically the same thing with a few things slightly more streamlined.
Yeah, and back then when we thought that was the new Necromunda, we were kind of disappointed because it lacked.
It lacked the streamlining, basically.
Yeah, and now Necromunda is out, and yes, we think it is too massive.
We disagree a lot on the rules on that, whether we feel it's good or. I like the fact that the new Necromunda.
Necromunda?
Yeah, Necromunda is it's a specialist game for the specialist gamer.
It is.
And I like that.
And that's okay.
It is very okay with me. It is. This has a lot of the complex rules.
I like that it has so many facets, and that there are different play modes. I actually look forward to the Underhive part, the board game.
So do I. But no matter which game mode you play in, this is not a game for the new miniature war gamer.
No, it's not.
This is not an introductionary game. If you want, go play more. Go play 40k. Go play.
But that's not a skirmish. Is this a skirmish game?
Yes, it is.
It's still a skirmish game because, well, that's a board game part. But is the multi-level, well, the gang wars, is it a skirmish game?
The amount of miniatures is what defines the skirmish game for me.
Still.
And also, this is a kind of game where you will actually follow.
Campaigns.
You want to follow. You want to follow the characters, each and every member of your warm, and it definitely does that.
Yeah.
The Necromunda has put an extra level of attention onto the Juves, and ignoring the gangers somewhat. So your gangers tend to be kind of placeholders until you can get actual characters there. unless they evolve into specialists rapidly.
Yeah.
But
you're kind of confused about the thing where they don't swap out their weapons.
No, this is in the old.
I haven't played old Necromunda.
In the old Necromunda, you had Jews who were like the very lowest level. They bought gangers. When Jews had enough XP, they became gangers.
And then
the gangers would become.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, Jews never become gangers.
Right.
They skip gangers and become champions.
And champions can't become specialists, or
no. Gangers can if they're really lucky, they can become specialists, or they can become nothing whatsoever.
But is this on topic really? Because
I think
we have talked for quite a while.
Yeah, we have, but we can talk a lot more.
I think this we should end this.
We should end this.
We should end this, but we are if we should sum it up, we are disappointed by the new specialist games department.
Yes.
It was not what we were hoping for. It seems like earnings.
I must say the quality of the game, as far as I can tell, once all the game has been released, I have a feeling it's gonna be a really awesome game.
Yeah.
What I do not like...
It's just a business model.
It's a business model.
Disagree with.
No, I'm not even going to call it the business model. I'm going to call it the monetization model. The actual putting my needs into your money. That model I don't like.
No.
It's either it's either I give you everything I have and my dog as well.
You can have my dog.
Or I stay away from your hobby.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I actually think it's just too transparent. I don't like to be...
At least deceive me out of my money instead of just taking it outright.
Because it's just too upfront about this is something we do to...
It's true.
Can't you just at least...
Sell me a pyramid scheme.
That we are friends here.
Yeah, like,
that we are on the same side.
I'll buy into your pyramid scheme anytime.
Yeah.
But you showing up with a gun on my head and telling me, give me all your money.
You don't have to do this. We like you. We like your product. We like your game. We like the setting, and but do you have to be so transparent about this being about money? Don't you want loyal customers really?
Yeah.
Why do you make us feel bad about buying your stuff?
Keep up the listen. Even in the video game industry, people are going bananas about how much they hate. Yes, I know it works, and even in the video game industry, everybody still pays a lot of money because of the whole microtransactions.
Yeah.
But everybody hates it. Everybody hates it.
Don't go there. It's stupid, and it alienates us.
And Games Workshop.
You're still getting our money, but we hate you for it.
Yeah, Games Workshop managed to do the whole microtransaction business model without actually making it micro.
Yeah.
It's still a bunch of money.
And you're just a bit late for that game because when the computer industry first did it, we didn't realize that was what they were doing. Yeah. But now we
realize, and the computer game industry is phasing out of it now.
Yeah.
They're trying to not do it. At least not doing it overtly.
They're trying to earn their money in other ways because they don't want to piss off their audience. Why have you picked up on this
business model that is on the way out in another industry?
So please, Specialist Games, can you be more like New Games Workshop?
No, actually, old Specialist Games guys. All of you guys that are now working for New Games Workshop.
Yeah, okay.
Could you please move back?
No, because we still want you in the other department.
Could you please clone yourselves?
Yeah, we want more of you. Yeah. We love you.
We love you. Old Specialist Games that all of you got hired by New Games Workshop. Yeah. Could you please make a clone of yourselves and get those clones hired at Specialist Games, because it right now just seems like Old Games Workshop that we hated as being not hated on a personal level, just everything you did. Yeah.
Just your actions, really.
Yeah, just hate everything you did and everything you thought about and everything you were. Yeah. But not you as persons at all. Really. Just your existence, yeah. Old Games Workshop, it seems like Old Games Workshop and the very lovable Old Specialist Games, those two groups got switched over. Yeah. Could we get like firing one group and just clone the other group and put them both places? Yeah. Because that's what we like. The people who listen to us.
Remember, it's not because.
And it's not you, Duncan. We like you, Duncan.
And also not Duncan. We like you too.
Yeah, Duncan and Duncan with dead eyes. We like both of you.
Yeah, both dead eyes, really.
That's two of them.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But we do not mind that you are going to earn money others. It's okay. Yeah. We know that you are a company. We know that you actually have to earn money, pay your staff, or at least half of them, and.
Games Workshop, you've always earned more money of me than I ever did. And that's fair enough. Yeah. You can earn twice as much money of me as I do.
Yeah. We just don't want to be made fools of. Yeah. Really.
Just tell us that you're taking all our money.
Or
up front.
Or do it more stealthy.
No, more stealthy. Just tell us. You want to buy this game? This is all the money you need to pay for this game. Yeah. This is a shitload of money. That is what you need to pay for to play this game. Yeah. Take a shitload of money off of me in one go and let me play the game, so that I can save up for it. Don't make me save up halfway, buy the game and figure out, hey, I can't really play it. This game until I saved up another shitload of money to buy the other part of the game.
And we don't know when it will end. And I do like expansions. Don't get me wrong, I like expansions, but minis, I have to be able to play the game before the expansions
minis arrive. And terrain, I will buy the crap out of minis and terrain. Yeah. Whenever I have more money, I will give it to you, and you will give me more minis or terrain.
Last one, we're going to shut off the camera now.
That camera?
Yeah, that camera. It's on. You did realize that, right?
Is this Night episode?
Did you swear?
Shit, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to shut it off.
Do it, I have to pee anyway.
Yeah. So, what do we do about this? Because I messed it up completely.
And also we have built a wall on the table.
Yeah. And a heart. A dusty heart.
Yes, you have, show the dusty heart.
Oh, I'm going to do it right again. Yeah. Can you see it?
Oh, closer. Not closer.
No.
Closer still. Closer.
Okay. Not gonna move. Yeah.
Also with more cleavage for the camera.
Hey!
We already did that episode, sorry.
Episode! But actually I think my bra is...
Yeah, I got this.
Oh! I said you could barrel run if you wanted.
Yeah, I know, but it was too small.
Where did Shadow War Armageddon go? Actually, I think that is a big question on the social media. Where did Shadow War Armageddon go?
It went into the black hole.